Neurofeedback is a way to train the brain to function at a more optimal state. We have equipment which is similar to equipment you get in a hospital. It's called an EEG amplifier. EEG stands for electroencephalogram. And basically what they'd be doing is measuring your brain waves. Brain runs on its own electrical activity. So we use that same equipment. The only thing is we use it to train the brain. The amplifier feeds information into computer software, which I manipulate. The computer software is comparing your brain to a group of brains of people your age and sex, and looking at where there are significant abnormalities, where you might have high levels of arousal or not enough brain activity or electrical activity. And then I am manipulating the settings, and the software then through some speakers and through a TV monitor is giving your brain feedback. And it comes in the form of sounds and visual manipulation of a movie, basically. So your brain is getting information about how to move itself to a calmer, more focused state. Neurofeedback treats as a preventative. In other words, it keeps the brain regulated so that you don't get the attacks. But if you do get an attack, it is a way for the brain to quickly begin to re-regulate itself so that you don't get repetitive attacks over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And it's very common for people to have bouts of migraine that last multiple days. And I can say again, in my case, if I get a migraine and I treat it immediately with neurofeedback, I do not get the second day residual and the third day and the fourth day. And I'm back able to function typically within 24 hours without any untoward side effects. The primary reason you might consider neurofeedback over medication is that the reality is that all medications of the type that will be prescribed to you will have significant side effects. And in many cases, the side effects are really dramatic. When we stabilize the brain, it typically does not need medication. There are added benefits to neurofeedback because neurofeedback is looking at the brain as a whole system, and it starts to make the brain more functional, period, more adaptive. So people sleep better, people feel less anxious, people are in a better mood, and they begin to be more regulated in all kinds of ways. Typically, if there are any negative side effects, they're minor, a little bit of discomfort, emotional discomfort, a little bit of sleep disturbance perhaps, and they're gone within 24 hours. And as most people know, there's many short-term dramatic side effects to medications, and there are long-term permanent side effects to some medications. You'll know it's working almost immediately. And one of two things typically happens. The headaches and the attacks, the migraine attacks, stop. Or they lessen in frequency, and they certainly lessen in intensity. A neurofeedback session will typically be 30 minutes. The frequency should be a minimum of once a week. Twice a week in the beginning can be very helpful, but it's not necessary. Total number of sessions is individualized. As the migraines begin to become less intense and less frequent, we start making the treatment less frequent until we've reached a point where we've eliminated the migraine.